This is the rifle that scared the hell out of me when I was in Vietnam because it's semi-automatic and you have to use the sights and aim. Fortunately, I had one of those M1 Grands with armor-piercing ammunition, and if they got behind a tree, they died behind a tree because it would shoot right through.
I didn't bring anything.
Wow.
And an M1, just a rack grade M1, if you're careful, it has no problem reaching accurately to 1,000 yards, and it may take the whole clip, but you keep pecking, you'll get him.
So do you have an interesting story of while you were in Vietnam? You have a story you can tell?
Well, how gruesome do you want?
Just whatever story, you know, war's war, unfortunately.
When I was in Da Nang, I ran a boat that made maps, okay? And when we came back to port, we would tie up outside of the Army security. And we would stop on a little peninsula where this Vietnamese lady with a white-haired baby had a little store, and we'd buy beer there. And the baby had fungus, so on his face. We looked around, well, we called the corpsman, we got something and treated his face. He was still nursing. One time we came back and found the baby nailed against the door with his head banged in, brains hanging out. The lady upside down in the hog pit. Now we had 4 Marines with us. One of them always stayed with the shore party, but I and 3 others began taking walks. And we would kind of fade. It was kind of like an urban area with patches of jungle. And we'd fade into the jungle till it got dark, and then we would move to a trail.
It's got to be an acronym like temporary.
And we would tie ourselves together with string.
Retirement.
It is my firm belief that there are people who can sense other people when they're conscious. So 3 of us would go to sleep, and when the watch of the guy up was over, he'd jerk with the string. You could only do this if you didn't have a cold and you knew what was coming, and you planned it when you went to sleep on what you were going to do, and then you'd wake up, take your watch. Day came when a group of 5, and we weren't supposed to be out walking after 10. A group of 5 came along the trail. We determined that afterwards there were 4 Viet Cong in black pajamas and 1 Chinese. And we killed them.
Well, I got those 2 Grands of mine there.
Somewhere I've still got the coke red pistol from the Chinese.
Yeah, and that's the way they came in there. I mean, for the money, it was.
We don't know if they were the right ones, but we did what we could.
What were you when you were in Vietnam? What?
I was a Navy
I didn't know they
lieutenant.
did timbers.
Well, no, lieutenant, junior grade.
But you were on shore. You weren't on.
No, I had a boat that made maps.
Oh, that's right. You told me that. Yes.
We
Now, what was
charts-
making maps? What was that?
The charts were French from 1905 or so, and a lot of things had changed. So we would set up 3 instruments that gave us a distance reading. And then they would plot the wave pattern for the 3 stations. And we had a recorder on the boat that recorded the wave number. We would set it up so we were getting 2 of them, and we would steer the boat till we stayed constant on 1 number, and every 2 minutes, 1 minute, or 30 seconds, we would record the other one, find the position on the chart,
South Korea has
and
a million
record the depth from our pedometer.
They were loaned in.
And by doing this, we would gather the data to make a new chart.
And our DOD said no.
Then our ship would print a provisional map from the press that it had right on it. It also had a helicopter that did aerial maps for the shore. And that's what we did.
And how long were you in Vietnam?
2 campaigns.
And that is,
It turned out to be 7 months.
wow.
And first thing we did is they sent me up the Mekong River until we drew fire so that the ship could get combat pay. And then I had 4 other instances where that happened. Plus the night when we found some and got some.
Except I'll tell you, I have sold 2 grants
Lots of memories there.
in my life, and one of them was
Well,
1942, not matching. And I only got
someone
$900.
has to stand between evil.
But another one that I sold.
And it's better if they do it on the other side of the ocean.
I sold for like $1,300.
And as the Greeks who practiced cremation used to say, it is well for a young man to protect the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his God. And as it was then, it is now. And it always will be. And God help us if we ever stop.
That's right. Well, thank you so very much for sharing your stories.